Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sort of members of the jury, in the top side of the map, playing as Poseidon. Here's our resident trying to beat the new god man. His name is Bad Boy. Bad Boy Jim. Slim Jim Bad Boy, the bad boy. His opponent today, the man that Demeter was built for. He is a man, he likes simple things in life. He likes long walks along the beach. He likes peanut butter on his toast. And he likes pasta for dinner. I don't know about any of that stuff. I'm making it all up. I'm lying. But there's one thing that he does like 110% of the time, every single time. And that is a defensive two-town center game with a Greek god. And guess what he's been gifted? He's been gifted the ultimate defensive 2TC Greek god in Demeter. Divine will have already devised his perfect two-town center build order. And I imagine he's just going to go for it. He's up against Poseidon, who is a very, very aggressive god. But there's not really anything you can do to deny the tech and town center of a pan using Demeter. You can just walk over, drop the Arcadian Meadow on the town center, potentially like this, and then he can just put the town center up and you can't stop it. Maybe. I'm not sure. Temple coming down for Divine here. I like the idea from Divine. I'm going to go ahead and throw my own two cents in the ring here. I'm going to keep saying it until people start doing it or they start doing something that I think is better. Temple corner to corner with the town center allows your goats to be perfectly safe underneath the town center. Allows you to lock off the position with a wall. You can do it up onto this side. You can wall off for the temple, off to the tower. Really good. And it does keep the entirety of your town center free, with the exception of one spot for your farms. You can still get 11 farms around the town center, I believe, if you do that, which is really, really good. But we are seeing Ares. Divine is not going for the pan. He is not going for the town center shenanigans. He is doing something very, very different. Whereas Bad Boy, he's doing the bad boy things. He's going to be our bad boy for this game. And he's going to be pretty quickly hitting the classical age as the centaur pops out. And he's going to be heading straight across here. Now, unlike all of the other Greek gods, Demeter does not have to worry about the centaur. In fact, I think the centaur is nigh unusable against Demeter. Why? For the simple reason... And rushing Demeter is not on the cards either, for the simple reason that Orpheus, for the moment, can defend by himself while still in the Archaic Age. He has 6 damage in the Archaic Age, goes up to 6.6 when he hits the Classical Age, and he's got Ballistics. So you have to do some wiggle micro to get in here and get out without taking the damage. Now, Atalanta is obviously going to be coming through here and going to be a bit of a pain to deal with. The Cyclops has to stay away, but just going to be doing chip damage. No way to heal up Atalanta, so every little bit of chip damage here does matter. As we're going to see a village center popping up on this position as Divine gets himself the garrison micro. He's got the Cyclops. He's going after the Hippias. And I think after all is said and done, Divine is going to be getting himself his far second town center one way or another. Centaur coming around onto the side. Looks like a villager is going to be going down, but the centaur does fall on the other side. Village center is now up. And he can garrison into the village center and he can start shooting. You can garrison the Orpheus in. You can garrison a villager in. You can garrison a hoplite in. You don't have to make it a villager, but if you have no other units, then of course, go for it. But Divine does get his villager center up. His village center up. I keep saying villager center. He does get himself his village center up. And he's going to be good to go. On the top side here, just the stables. Full rating. And I do think that this is one thing that, like, Demeter is designed to say no to cavalry. If you go Ares, it's not really the same, but is he going to get away from this? He doesn't get away. He doesn't get away. The villager goes down. And these other villagers should be able to get... another villager goes down. As I'm saying all of this, that Demeter is designed to say no to the raids. Divine, normally a player who doesn't lose too many villagers to raids, is taking a lot of heat at the moment. Military Academy coming through for Divine as he wants to go into hoplites. His opponent's making Hippias, so why not make hoplites? Makes perfect sense to me. And now we will see Iolaus to come through as the Spirited Charge is in pre-queue for Bad Boy. Onto this side, Bad Boy dropping his town center. And, I mean, after all is said and done, Bad Boy, he's got pressure. He's forced Divine to eat all of his herdables. Divine's got a suboptimal town center because he's a village center. This town center will be completing eventually, here with 30 seconds. And then Bad Boy is slowly going to be catching up on the villagers. On top of that, the Hippias most likely are going to be looking to pick off another villager or two. The regen for dropping resources off is at best a late game tech, in my opinion. Yeah. I think if they put if they put it into the granary or the temple or a granary storehouse, then it's probably a must grab pretty early on. But in the town center, this upgrade here, it just cuts your villager production for too long. If you get it in a village center, you're going to be able to maybe only lose like two villages. But if you get it in the town center, it's 2.5 villages, which is just too much. Question on the Pandora's box maps. You find the current maps. We're going to be putting out a... I think the maps aren't going to change anymore. I haven't got any negative feedback about them, so they must be perfectly balanced and no problems. But at the moment, you go to the mod workshop and you go Owl random map pack, and it's the more recent one. There should be 2 there. As the early game is sort of calming down. I mean, these Hippias are getting a huge amount of value here. A huge amount of value. Lots of idle time. I mean, this is really the only weak spot for Divine is this position. So he should just leave the Cyclops in here and just be on top of this spot. And then he's going to be completely fine to never lose any units. But Iolaus and Orpheus enough to send the Hippias packing. They got that health coming back from Lord of the Horses, so they should be able to keep sniping stuff and then pulling back. But Hestia is the god of choice. Makes perfect sense. I think Hestia is by far the best heroic age god for Demeter. She's got Aphrodite as well, but she's got Aphrodite as well, but Hestia does a lot more, gets a lot more value, I think, inside of her techs and things like that. I'm really interested to see if Divine's going to try and make these trees work. I think most competitive players are going to stay away from the tree for the moment because it's a little bit tricky to use. And a lot of players have got their quirks, their how do I put this? Their habits. A lot of players have got their habits. For me, my habit is I like to select my units like this, which then selects everything. So I select everything on screen with a hotkey. I like to do that, which means that I will be selecting my Hamadryad and then accidentally moving them. So it's not a usable unit if I'm going to be doing that. So I have to really focus on not using that hotkey. But I imagine other people who do things like use their control groups to select their army, they're going to be perfectly fine to actually use the Hamadryad. So how many farms do you actually get up? You get 6 around the town center with this. So definitely put it off to the side and it's good. This bad boy just going to continue to roam around this game. Divine's still playing very, very defensively. It looks to me like Divine's going to try and get a Mythic Age in here. He's not... Or maybe he's pumping... No, he's pumping units. So he might be able to get everything out. Yeah, some good Dryad traps in the tournament. We'll see if that happens. I definitely think it's a usable... Like, I think it's a really strong unit. I definitely think it's a really strong unit. Especially for, like... Especially for playing, like, very defensively. So, for example, like, putting trees up around a fortress or something. Your opponent has to attack into it if they want to take it down. And the tree will eventually just pop out and kill them, you know? Or like a random tree in your main base. Your opponent comes to raid you. You run your villagers away from the... Like, you might put a tree here or here or something. And they charge in, and then I just pull my villagers back to the tree. And then it blows them up, you know? Like, you can use it in some pretty interesting ways. I got this Phobos' Spear of Panic. As well as Faded Arrows. Yeah, I think the most... Maybe the most insane usage of the tree is sneaking it around onto a gold mine mid-fight. So you put like 3 trees over onto this side, right? Out of sight, out of mind, just hiding on this tree line. And then as soon as a fight happens, you put no attack stance. And then you run it in onto a gold mine, and then they turn into the tree, and then, or they turn into the tree, and then they kill every villager on the mine. And then you run it back into the corner, and you wait, and you do it again. Rinse and repeat. Don't tell anyone about my strats, okay? I need to get the clip, okay? I need to. It's gonna happen. Placing landmines on a mine. Yes, we're going to explode the mine. We've got dynamite. We've got to use it. But bad boy just posturing in the middle for the time being. Both players spamming their units out here. Divine grabbing himself Damus' Sword of Dread, getting himself the heavy range soldiers, making himself more of those Toxotes. Toxotes are a really interesting unit because they've only got 15 range, and pretty much everything has got more range than them. And if you can get set up correctly, you should be able to make them feel less than effective. But Bronze comes through. Divine now in a bit of a tricky position. He does have his Icarus flying overhead, dealing crazy amounts of area of effectiveness. What is the damage that this guy is getting up? He is racking up 50 damage in attack here, it looks like. I think that might have been just one of the shots. But Bad Boy comes through and cleans up everything on this position. The Communal Hearth, however, this thing is helping out in a big way. And Bad Boy's got to be careful. He's going after the fortress. He needs to kill the Communal Hearth first. Because he's just going to be converting units non-stop. I don't know if you can tell exactly which one is getting converted from the spectator situation here, but without question, you can see the Hippias up here getting converted. That's a naked Hippias, more getting converted. And now Bad Boy has to pull back, and Divine does manage to defend behind military very nicely. Oh, he stole the Hydra. Wild. Now Bad Boy goes, all right, we'll put a fortress down and we'll go for maybe some Petropolis pushing. This kind of makes the most sense against Demeter, is to go for some sort of ranged siege push. As the Hippias are going to sneak in onto this side, trying to get through. All the villagers have to... Did he ring the town bell? Surely not. I haven't seen... He rang the town... I haven't seen anyone ring the town bell at high level in a very long time. Generally, the high-level players want to min-max as much as they can, so they'll pull whichever villagers are most likely to get hit, and then they'll leave the other ones over there, and then sometimes it works, sometimes they lose everything. You ring the bell daily. I remember in Age of Empires 4 when the game came out, and every time you selected the town center, it would ring the town bell. Not like it wouldn't do the town bell, but it would ring the town bell. A hilarious design decision that was immediately removed. Divine Labor coming through. As the Hippias are going to charge in. We'll see if the Hoplite Toxotes army can beat this Hippias Pacifist army. I mean, I think the Toxotes should be able to, as long as they focus fire in onto the Pacifist, they should do a crazy amount of damage here. So the town center does manage to finish up for Divine. Gonna pop over and maybe eat some bears on the right side. More farms to come up as... I mean, Bad Boy is just slamming it in over and over again. And Divine is just deflecting. And the more this goes on, the further Divine should be getting in this game. The only thing is that Bad Boy is in front on villagers, so he can afford to do this a little bit. But Divine's going to be catching up quickly here. Or he's not catching up. Wait, hang on. Yes, Divine is going to be catching up quickly here. 76. He's up to a third town center, so 3.75 town centers with the village. Oh, sorry, 2.75 town centers with the village center. Should be able to catch up at 100 apiece here, roughly. There won't be any advantage after that, and I think this is just enough for Bad Boy to maybe catch up on military or something like that. What's the glow on the army? You guys need to watch my video that's coming out tomorrow. It is Orpheus. He's got an aura which can affect up to 10 units, giving them all bonus damage versus myth units. As the ceasefire comes through, Pestilence is in to try and take out the fortress and make a push happen. And now we see Gracious Hospitality, and he will shoot up to 210 maximum population here, as he's only got 2 town centers and no fortified town center. But as soon as he gets this town center, and he gets fortified town centers, he will be shooting up to 265 population, 30 more than his opponent can muster. This Divine gets some nice positioning in here as the Hippias are going to try and just break in onto this spot. But the Hoplites, I think they're too good of a front line. Or are they? Are they too good? The Hestia's Hearth is still helping out, it looks like, in this fight as well. Stealing away some Hippias. He's got 1. Maybe you can get another one. As you can see that aura pops around. If you are fast enough, you can pull the unit out of the aura. You can play around this. I think the only thing that is inhumanly possible to do is if you've got like a 4-speed unit, maybe it's even 4.3 speed. Maybe it's even more than that. I don't know. But if you move it back immediately, it's gonna still get converted by the time it comes in. But a Hippias or raiding cavalry, they can get out of the range if you do it fast enough. And you have to be very, very switched on to pull away from it. It's the center, Petropoli. Menace rolling forward here. Toxotes just going to be pulling back, doing what they can. The communal hearth over here does end up getting picked to pieces. And the fortress for Divine will end up going down. And Divine in a little bit of trouble, it looks like, but I think he's fine here. He's still got plenty of resources in the bank. He's a little bit short on the military production, but same too for Bad Boys. So both players are making some pretty crucial macro mistakes here. But Persephone is in. And now immediately Divine says it's time for the underworld invasion. And he is going to full send. On the other side, Bad Boy's got himself 3 town centers. He's got himself an army. He needs to be really pumping units here. The good thing for Divine, because he's only on 1 town center with this usage, is he can grab this town center and he can grab this town center. No problems here. There's no time like the present. Just run over, grab both of them. It's totally fine. 341 population to play with. Now, I will say these units, it's worth 3 pop, but it's not worth 3 pop. I've said this before as well in other casts, but I'll say it again. Take a look at the Hippias, 188. Oh, well, it's not a great comparison because this has got no upgrades, but it should have 150 HP, and it's 199. So it's more like 2/3 the pop. So you want to cut 2/3 the pop of the actual Eidolon army, and that's going to be what they're worth. That makes sense. 2/3. As we do see a very strange usage of that Gop out. I'm not sure what the point of that was. But he goes for it. It's the Hippias are just going to be charging around the map, trying to do some stuff. Seeing the Hippias raids from Divine on this side. He could go for some upgrades on the Hippias as well to at least allow his Eidolon. I don't know. His Hippias, his converted Hippias to be a little bit more effective. He's getting a bunch of damage up onto the top. Slowly but surely, this army is starting to fall. The town center is back over here, and Divine just needs to wait another 90 seconds to get this main town center back up. Part of me feels like, okay, hear me out on this one. Hear me out on this one. I think that Underworld Invasion should delete all your town centers, and it should disallow you the ability to rebuild an open settlement. If you kill an enemy town center, you should be able to build it, but not if it was an open settlement when Underworld Invasion was cast, if that makes sense. That's how it should work. The Bad Boy coming through. It's looking like he will be able to take this fight, dominate this fight, win this fight, and he's going to be in a good position now to push back a little bit. Villager differential is basically, it's only 10 villages, not a big deal. The game will now start moving into more of a gold mine centric situation. Toxody's doing what they can here. The Hoplites are the big powerhouse. I'm surprised these Hippias are doing... I am surprised the Hippias are doing so well because the Hoplites have got that Phobos' Spear of Panic, and it looks like he does manage to win this fight. And Bad Boy's going to have to make some other units, and he does decide to pass Bist. But I think he needs Peltast. I think he absolutely needs some Peltast in to actually deal with the Toxodes. There's not that many of them anymore, though. So he'll pass Bist first, and then maybe a little bit later... some Peltast. As Divine going to try and sneak up a fortress over here. The fortress will come up for Bad Boy first and foremost. Divine might not notice that. Hippias charging around the side. Look to try and raid some of these villages on these gold mines. Some military academies going down. More Hippias going to be coming out. We see a huge raid for Bad Boy onto this position. Does Divine have himself the upgrade yet? He does have himself his upgrade. So the villagers can get some HP back when they drop off, right? All of these farms. Okay. All the villagers will be at full HP now, right? Yeah. Just kind of sick. As the Icarus raid coming through. I think this is arguably... No, it's not arguably. This is the best usage of this hero And it's the thing I think that's going to be the most frustrating because you put walls up. I think maybe versus Demeter, one of the ideas to play defense is or to defend against the Icarus is actually to drop like towers down on your exposed resources. That way, if the Icarus comes, you can garrison, and then the Icarus is going to have to leave. But yeah, this guy, 18 range. So you have to put the tower like directly on the gold mine as well, so it can hit from all angles. And he is a really potent unit to take out villagers for sure. Also, completely fine to having this type of unit. I think he's doing mostly pierce damage, so you want to be hitting any infantry you can, or low pierce armor archers like the Toxotes. There's a Hippias charger back over onto this gold mine, looking to hit them yet again. There is a world where you can just turn around and fight this. The villagers do have themselves survival equipment, and some hoplites are going to be making their way over here. Thank you for the 6 months, Samir Diaz. Appreciate you, my friend. Legend. Mr. Pestilence does get dropped down. Hoplites coming through up onto this side to try and take out the town center. The potential for a ceasefire. Not quite in. He's got it on cooldown for the time being. There is also potential for another bronze, however. So I think Divine's missing his 2 farms on this town center, so a little bit short on his population. But I'm not sure it's going to matter. How good is Midas? I think Midas is just a support unit. So you want to try and build him and use him in a way that can get you a gold mine somewhere where you want to build. So you take a fight, say here, and you get a gold mine that's going to allow you to build the town center up faster. That sort of thing. But he is a tank. He has some decent HP, some decent armor. He is a tank. For sure. Onto the bottom side, Bad Boy. Still sitting on that gold mine. For the moment here... Is Divine out of gold? Divine is out of gold here. No, he's not. He's got 17. Where is he getting gold from? Oh, he's moving them all back over here. As a cheeky little bronze to come through. His Bad Boy still just trying to beat through this army with nothing but melee units. He just refuses to build a single Peltast in this game, which would be just a gigantic assistance against those Toxotes. But for the moment here, Divine just has a little bit too much stuff, a little bit too much gas in the tank, and Bad Boy is out of chances here as he does end up tapping out. A well-played game from Divine. Lots and lots of pressure from Bad Boy, but I think the simple fact here is Bad Boy just needed to get some Peltast in, and I think he would have been able to deal with those Toxotes a little bit better. Hippaspis would have been more functional because they wouldn't have been dying as quickly to the Toxotes. And he would have probably, he could have found a win here for sure. But nonetheless, Divine does what Divine does best. Plays that defense well, gets into a good spot, and finds his dub. If you guys enjoyed the game, make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.